Brains of the operation, Curry is the quick and Dordovic is the explosive man, and together this trio has led the Orange offense. But Vermont on the other side has a pretty darn good offense of its own. 21 goals in the win over UMass Lowell on Wednesday, and that begins with this man, Michael McCormick.
Yeah, Syracuse going to have to keep an eye on number 97 all day. State of Massachusetts all-time points leader. He's a 6'2", 215-pound lefty attackman, extremely talented, and he can bring the hard shot. One of the fastest shooters in college lacrosse.
Yeah, they say don't get hit by his shot. Ryan Cornell, Vermont's goalie, has felt that shot plenty in practice. Stepping into a starting role full-time for the first time this year, and opposing him, it is Drake Porter, the All-American, the captain for Syracuse, the redshirt senior from Ontario, who stood on his head against Virginia. 15 saves in the 20-10 win over a top-5 Hoos team in this building last Saturday. The Orange at 1-1, the Catamounts at 1-1. Both teams had disappointing losses to start their 2021 seasons. Both turned around in Game 2 and came through in a big way. And that sets the scene in front of fans in the Carrier Dome for the first time this season. It has been more than 365 days since you could walk into the Dome and enjoy a game. And today, we'll enjoy Syracuse and Vermont with you. Jacob Thought, Tommy Burke, the two face-off men, and that's an early good start for the Catamounts. Burke controls the opening face-off and a first chance to see Vermont.
Yeah, that's going to be really important out here for Vermont today, getting some wins at the face-off X. So that's a big first win and big possession here in the early going of the game for the Green.
Thought for Syracuse, the Orange face-off man, was phenomenal in the win over Virginia, dominating Petey LaSalle for the majority of the evening. Burke on the other side, coming off the highest percentage in a single game of his career. 14 of 18 against UMass Lowell to put the Catamounts on offense. The UVM offense that put up 21 goals against the Riverhawks on Wednesday. Here's David Klosterman. Canadian-led offense, quick shot, and there's McCormick rifling it wide. Michael McCormick, highlighted him off the top. 6 goals on 9 shots against UMass Lowell on Wednesday. The speed of his shot impresses. Lewandowski denied by Porter, and there's the early start for Drake Porter. He was great on Saturday, and that's a great sign for the Orange. Scanlon has his stick axed out of his hand, and the whistle brings it Vermont's way. So a minute and 20 in here, early jump from the Catamounts.
Yeah, you got to be really excited, you know, if you're the Catamounts after that first possession of the ball. 2 great shots, awesome looks on the cage, and they looked poised right here in the early going. This is very important for the Catamounts in the first quarter to get off to a good start, no turnovers, and produce high-quality shots. That's what we saw in the first possession of the game.
This Vermont team was picked to finish first in the America East last year, had that season derailed, of course, because of COVID-19. This year picked to finish 4th, but a lot of those key pieces are back, especially on this offense. David Klosterman right here, the junior, the long-maned right-hander, going against Mitch Wyckoff, who got his first start in orange, number 17 in white. The defender that has allowed Brett Kennedy to move up towards the midfield for Syracuse and help this Orange defense hold Virginia, a great Virginia offense, to 10 goals last Saturday. McCormick has to regather with 10 to shoot for the Catamounts. Klosterman with 3, and Lewandowski will have the time expire. He'll drop it. There's Chris Phipe's 5th year, who said he'd been talking with John Desko. These two teams have scrimmaged the last few years, and the conversations about getting this game together have come before and after those scrimmages. Finally this year, originally slated to be the Orange's opener, and after some shuffling because of the season that is this season, they get it on the schedule here in early March. And Phipes, Desko, everybody happy about that. Get these two programs together in a regular season game. Now our first chance to see the Orange offense, that first line midfield rolling as it often does, but the contributions against Virginia came from everywhere. 10 different Orange players recorded a point, 8 of those 10 with multi-point nights. Rafis floats that one over.
Syracuse offense here in the early going, playing with some great energy. The ball's moving from one guy's stick to the next, playing extremely unselfish. Love the start out of the Orange.
Dordovic, bouncer goes down. Tucker Dordovic picks up right where he left off, and the Oregonian, Ryan, just continues to roll.
Yeah, number 23 from Portland, Oregon. Got a lot of love for this kid. He's a wonderful player. Know his family really well, but 23 is a big game player. He can shoot it right, he can shoot it left, so defenses, don't really know where to stop him. And he was an easy rollback right there from his left to his right, find the 5-hole wickets of the netminder. And, Tucker's been doing a great job getting off to a good start in the first 3 ball games. So that kind of continues here against Vermont. He's a wonderful player and a great start in the first quarter.
4 goals for Tucker Dordovic in the opener against Army. A casual hat trick against Virginia as Faup wins it here and slows to Kennedy. And he turns around and scores his 8th, a team-leading 8th goal here in the Orange's 3rd game of the season. And Faup wins his first face-off, so they've split there. You figure Vermont's going to have to win a lot of face-offs if they want to stay in this game. This Orange offense too potent. And now a chance to see the Orange's second-line midfield, which, if the first one is the best in college lacrosse, the second is up there.
There's no doubt about it, Cooper. They got a lot of firepower this year.
Owen Hilt stepping in, and that's an easy dunk for the freshman. Hilt's got his first start last week. He starts again, and he gets it rolling early here, Ryan.
Yeah, after my time at Syracuse, I played in the National Lacrosse League, and one of the first things I was taught was the twister shot. Great way to beat goalies. So you see right there, Hiltz puts that to good use with his box lacrosse background, catches and finishes with a little twister shot on the inside. And this freshman's the real deal and off to a great start.
Hiltz was more of a dodger in week 1 against Army, and they turned around and put him in a whole different role in week 2. Peter Durth ran somebody over, and so Vermont's going to get it here. Week 2, they went with Hiltz's more off-ball, and that seems to be where he is week 3, and that time working off-ball to catch in the score to put the Orange up 2-0. Syracuse no stranger to strong starts. Klosterman got the slide, he missed it, but a flag is down. And I believe Vermont's going to go man up here.
Number 35, 1 minute unnecessary. Point 35, 1 minute unnecessary.
This is on Dami Aladamoye.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one, to be honest with you. But, the official had the call, and Vermont's man up.
And you figure for UVM to stay in this early on, they're going to need a few things to break their way. That's an early good start. And this man up for UVM that is 3 for 7 so far this year goes on the attack. J.J. Lewandowski, the transfer who started his collegiate career in Syracuse, 8 in green. In the bottom left of your screen has the big shot from the outside. McCormick as well on the right side wing. Lewandowski waits. Patient man up, and Lewandowski had it deflected. Nick DiPietro stepped in front.
That's pretty awesome by DiPietro there, number 44, sacrificing his body for the good of the team.
How's that feel?
That couldn't have felt very good.
McConvey banged it off the side, so that's a shot clock reset, and then a push in front against Syracuse. McConvey's shot from right down the middle grazed off the right side of the bar. So a shot clock reset, a fresh 80. Lewandowski this time, again knocked down. There's Mitch Wyckoff, the redshirt senior from Gettysburg, the transfer from Gettysburg, native of Fairfield, Connecticut. Now McConvey, the fake and the score. Vermont is on the board.
Little breakdown here on the Syracuse defense. McConvey finds himself wide open right in front of Porter. Easy catch, easy finish right down into the bottom part of the net. That's a big time goal coming out of a man-up situation that they didn't capitalize on. Syracuse has the penalty released, a little confusion, and Vermont ends up canning one to the back of the net. So big time goal for them.
And Tommy Burke wins another, charging inside and had it knocked free from behind. So Vermont off to a good start. Orange got up 2-zip. Catamounts have answered. One of the big unknowns coming into this game was Tommy Burke, the sophomore Fogo for Vermont, and he has helped UVM stay in it, a 2-1 game here in the early stages inside the Carrier Dome. Burke has won 3 of 4 against Jacob Fupp, who dominated a week ago against Virginia, and he has put the Catamounts back on offense. UVM has just scored. They were down 2-0. It's now a 2-1 game.
Yeah, I look at this game here today. 3 important things if you're Vermont. No turnovers, do a decent job at the face-off X, and then you got to have great goaltending play. Do those 3 things, and it's a ball game.
Through 7 minutes, that's kind of been what it's been. Brock Haley inside, charges and scores. Right down Main Street for Brock Haley. The sophomore has his 3rd goal, and Vermont is in this, a tie game.
Yeah, Syracuse defense again a little out of sorts. Great stick protection by 11 Haley, keeping it tucked until the last minute. Then he reaches it out, extends his arms a bit, and nails one to the bottom part of the cage.
Haley's one of those Canadians on this Vermont roster. Chris Fifes came in, he wanted to recruit north of the border in a big way, and he has. Led by the pride of Ontario, Ian McKay, UVM's all-time points leader now in the PLL, and the Canadians have followed suit on this roster. Poses an interesting challenge for the Syracuse defense, too. So far, so good. Danny Varello checks in at the face-off spot for Syracuse, and the wing play once again comes through. Brett Kennedy with the scoop up, and look, Brian, Brett Kennedy played close defense in place of Nick Mellon a year ago. Now gets the shot with Mitch Wyckoff's entry to play towards the middle, and with that long pole and playing in transition, he's been really, really good.
No doubt about it. One of the biggest differences between the Army game and the Virginia game was the switch up, bringing Wyckoff in there and letting Kennedy get up into the middle of the field where he's the most comfortable, and it allowed him to push the ball in transition.
Jamie Trimboli, quick rip on the right side, Orange back on top.
I absolutely love number 12's game from Victor, New York. He's a great shooter from all over the lacrosse field. And what I love most about his game is he's continued to improve every single day, every year since he's come to Syracuse. I hear the stories about him in the off season, being back home, working with the younger players, continuing to train and elevate his game. And it's been very noticeable the last couple years how much better of a shooter he's become. One of the best in the country at getting the job done, shooting the rock.
Coaching staff says one of the biggest parts of his development has been where he's shooting it, not just how he's shooting it, as Tommy Burke wins another. Vermont has won 4 of 6 faceoffs, and it's the sophomore Burke, who was a 4-star by Inside Lacrosse. He wanted to go to UVM since early in high school, came in last year, played in all 4 games as a freshman, and so far has given his team a shot offensively early on.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there at that center X, and that's very important. You know, the best face-off guys that I know that are out there find a way. So the first quarter, someone new that you're facing off against, you might not know all their tricks, but the best players, the best face-off guys out there find a way. So if Fob's going to be one of those guys, he'll start figuring out that clamp and that rake and what he's trying to do on the face-off X, and hopefully get that dialed in the Orange's favor.
Second liners in there once again, and Griffin Cook on as well. A redshirt sophomore from Syracuse. So his starting spot lost a week ago to Owen Hiltz, who just put that one in there, had it knocked down by Cornell, who snares. But Cook's gonna get some run. That's what John Desko told us, just in a number of different roles. And the first real test for Ryan Cornell, the Vermont goaltender, off to a good start as well. And the Catamounts with a chance to time. McConvey with space. Klosterman wide left, and a tangle.
Your call.
So far, Vermont has outshot Syracuse 9-5. And I think more of this game, Ryan, has been played on this end of the field than we would have imagined early on.
Yeah, for sure. I think Vermont's doing an excellent job controlling the ball, being patient. They're not turning the ball over, and they're producing high-quality shots. Exactly what they need to do if they want to be competitive in this game and have a shot at winning.
And Syracuse can't clear here. Easy strip for Michael McCormick. That's the other part of McCormick's game. The transfer from Middlebury as the big shot from the outside, but they like what he does in the ride as well. Syracuse that is cleared pretty darn well. 29 of 34 in the year, entering the day at 85%. Klosterman matched up with Peter Dirth, who eats him up, but a hold on Dirth.
Number 9, Peter Dirth, is a stud athlete. He's going to go up there as one of the top draft picks in the PLL draft coming up.
Guy who started his career on offense. Ryan Cornell played against Dirth in high school in Fairfield County, Connecticut. Cornell was saying, yeah, I remember taking shots against him in high school, and now he's turned into the defender that he has at the short stick spot for Syracuse. And Drake Porter there to stand up Klosterman. Porter was so good picking spots against UVA last week. And so far here, week 2 of him playing very well.
He's a great goalie. One of the things that I'm the most impressed with is his in-tight ability. Teams, you know, wide open shots, in tight. He has a knack for where they're going to shoot the ball and comes up with a lot of big-time saves that you wouldn't think that he would make.
Puts this Orange offense back out there. First line back out there. Curry, Dordovic, Rafis. Hiltz on offense as well, along with Trimboli. Dordovic on the short stick matchup. Here he is against Colin Sharkey. Rafis with time, went behind the back, and that goes down for Jamie Trimboli. Tic-tac-toe, and the Orange up 2.
Very impressive watching this Syracuse offense right now. They play so unselfish, and their midfielders are getting a step on the Vermont defenseman whenever they want it. So you see these matchups. It was first Curry getting a step on his guy, drew a slide. Then he moved it to Dordovic. Dordovic had a shorty, pushed from behind the cage and drew a slide. Moved it to Rafis. Rafis behind the back. Trimboli catch and bury.
And this Syracuse offense that looked so good a week ago, the 20 goals against Virginia, has picked up here in this first quarter in a similar fashion when they've had the ball. That's been important because Tommy Burke has been so good for Vermont. Pops this one out, And now it comes down to wing play. Burke out of there momentarily, and Vermont can settle. Tommy Burke, Chris Fifes, the head coach for Vermont, told us, I was getting videos from Burke all offseason, every single day of him working on his faceoffs. They believe in his enormous upside, but he's young. He has not looked young today in the Carrier Dome, and it puts Vermont quick the other way. In transition, that's a rip, Liam Limoges.
Looked like that got a little deflected there. I'm not sure what it hit off Porter's shoulder there. Limoges, right-handed rocket ship. Big time goal by Vermont. Syracuse again caught a little off guard in the transition situation. The slide had to come up, and it left Limoges open for a nice right-hander.
A 32-point freshman year for Limoges, and he has taken John Desko's team within one here. Here's Chris Fifes. You talk about Fifes and what this Vermont team has done as Font finally gets a win here against Tommy Burke. Changing their offensive identity. Fifes wanted to change the style to fit their players rather than the other way around, push the tempo. And an unsettled spot so far, Vermont's offense has taken full advantage. Here's Owen Siebold, his first touch of the day. Big redshirt junior from Texas. Worked a lot from behind cage a week ago. Now Rafis from there. Got his man on the ground and finishes. Looked him up and down and then puts it home. Orange up 2 again. Second goal for Trimboli.
Rafis 29 pushes hard righty here. Vermont defenseman slips down, and then Rafis sticks one to the back of the net. That's been the one thing that Syracuse could use a little bit more of on the offensive end, and that's dodging out of their attackmen from behind the cage. We have not seen a lot of goals produced out of the attackmen this year when they've dodged from behind the cage, so that's a bright spot and a nice sight to see for Coach Desko.
Stephen Rafis, the captain. And a violation against Fobb. He's looked a little out of sorts so far. Vermont now 5 out of 8. All of those wins by Tommy Burke coming off the career day against UMass Lowell on Wednesday has rolled right into it. Here's J.J. Lewandowski. Sophomore spent one semester, Aiden Green Lewandowski, one semester at Syracuse, decided to transfer, got a brand new major at UVM, much closer to nature, which is big for him. And he has been a big part of what they do. Probably the hardest shot of the team, says Fifes. Working against a shorty, and a lot of Moye wards him off. Now it's Klosterman dodging. All these Canadian players, the box background, dodging from behind and coming up top side. And we've seen that a number of times for a couple of goals for Vermont.
Go Diaz, go D.
Ten to shoot for UVM. Lewandowski against the shorty, and Porter there to answer. Porter down to one knee, and this is where the Orange thrived a week ago in transition. Peter Dirth quick to Scanlon, who settles.
That was the best defensive possession that we've seen all day out of Syracuse. Excellent communication, good on their matchups. Vermont had nothing.
And the short stick matchups, a lot of Moye and Dirth, both especially to shut down Lewandowski. Doesn't see a lot of short sticks. Curry quick, he'll step in and got deflected down in front. Cornell's out of his cage, and a roller scoop by Rafis. He looks to attack, and his pass got deflected all the way back out. Vermont holds for the moment with 15 seconds remaining here in this opening quarter. Dordovic. Rafis with 8, now with 5. Scanlon had Cornell. He'll toss it out, and that'll be the end of this first quarter. Back and forth we go here in this first quarter.
Great career and continues to get it done.
Kid who grew up binging Steel Stanwyck videos, playing a lot like him early on to put the Orange up a couple of goals. But Vermont has stayed in it in large part thanks to Tommy Burke. The face-off man, number 3 in green on the left side of your screen, has won 6 of 9 to start the day. And everyone went toppling over. This time a loose ball push brings it Syracuse's way, and Jacob Fupp has a de facto win there to open up this second quarter. Along with the Rhino, Ryan Powell, I'm Cooper Boardman. Thanks for being with us on a Saturday afternoon inside the Dome for Syracuse and Vermont. The first time we've seen fans inside this building since last March. And they'll ooh and ah at a Ryan Cornell save on Owen Hiltz. Cornell, the senior who split time with Nick Washuta, a pro pick last year, and this year getting a chance in his starting role, so athletic. And early on, Ryan Cornell, number 14, has been great for UVM.
Yeah, it's important that he has a big day today. I didn't love that shot from Hiltz that early in the shot clock. Didn't have a lot of power on it.
Well, we're seeing a goaltender fest early on. Cornell with the save, and then Drake Porter on the opposite end to eat up one from McCormick and put the Orange back on the offensive end. Syracuse's goals in the first quarter came from Trimboli, Dordovic, and Rafis. 2 from Jamie Trimboli out of that midfield. No production yet from the second line midfield that got the scoring started against UVA last week, but here it is with Owen Seabold. Seabold off the spin, and Cornell there again.
That's just not a good shot there by Seabold. You got to, again, early on in the shot clock, little roll dodge, way too far out to take that shot. That's an easy save for Cornell. Syracuse has got a great offense, work the ball around and produce high quality shots. That was not a high quality shot.
That's a shot you can get any time.
No doubt.
Another Vermont turnover, third of the day for the Catamounts. Syracuse offense back out there. John Desko, in 23 years, the 63-year-old Desko, said, I have not really seen a change like that in 1 week, meaning what Syracuse's offense did in week 1 versus week 2. He's seen a lot of Syracuse offenses. Struggling against Army in week 1, the surprising loss, and then in week 2. And now in week 3, Brendan Curry is on the board. So quick, huh?
Oh, he's so quick, so fast. This first midfield unit, all 3 of them flat out play the game of lacrosse. This time Curry, little stutter and go dodge. The short stick defensive midfielders from Vermont have their hands full today with these 3 midfielders. So 2 guys are drawing a short stick, and they're getting right after those short stick D-middies from Vermont, capitalizing on the situation. 16 Curry, phenomenal player, nice bury on that one.
5th goal for him. He's up to 9 points after a 7-point week last week against UVA. And that point streak feels like every time he steps on the field, he just gets a point for being there. Vermont off the face-off win. Bouncer stood up by Porter. Rebound, they score! Porter wanted maybe a crease call on Liam Limoges, but they'll count it. Start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, how about Tommy Burke today? Just getting the job done at the face-off X. This initial save by Porter was unbelievable. And the little garbage goal there, right place, right time from Limoges.
Vermont's got all these outside scores. You got McCormick, you've got Lewandowski, but Fife says it's the dirty work too. A guy like Liam Limoges who can pick up scraps and score. And for Vermont to stay in it, they were going to need to do that. They have done it, and it's a 2-goal game. and another face-off win. 8 face-off victories for UVM. It has been all about Tommy Burke today, who walked in at 63%. The funny part was against Bryant, who at that point was receiving votes. Burke struggled, 12 of 25 in week 1 in the loss for UVM. Week 2, game 2 that is, turning it around against UMass Lowell, 14 of 18. And against Syracuse, it is already percentage-wise a career effort. McCormick high, and Porter had to avoid a lot of Moye and the ball to make the grab. Orange in transition quick.
Solid goaltender Porter is. Sniffed that one out from range from one of the hardest shooters in college lacrosse.
Chase Scanlon on the doorstep. He went apple picking for it, and Syracuse is up 3.
This is pretty much an every time type of thing. When you get 22 the ball in front of the cage with that kind of space, he's going to catch and bury. Hiltz, great vision, nice find, 22 Scanlon, catch and finish right on the doorstep. Easy goal for the Cuse. Vermont cannot give up the easy ones like they did right there if they want to stick around in this ball game today. Scanlon shot 46% last year for John Desko. This year, 11% coming into the day. He had not been as accurate as he had been. Fopp called for another violation. That's the second against Fopp. One more would put Vermont man up with the ball. Keep an eye on that. But Scanlon there, that's about as high percentage of a look as you could possibly get, and number 22 has number 1. Vermont has now won 9 of 13 face-off efforts. Catamounts back on offense. Griffin Fenich, the freshman, against Peter Dirth. Lewandowski, low, and Porter is there for it. Wyckoff had a chance to swipe it upwards. They say Vermont was in the crease. McCormick stepped that white toe inside. There's another unforced error against Syracuse. 3rd turnover against the Orange. We saw this a lot in week 1 against Army, a lot less in week 2. Yeah, it's terrible. You work so hard to get a stop on the defensive end, and then, you know, just an error like that of throwing the ball away. But, you know, you got to clean that up if you want to be a very successful team.
Fenich had his pass knocked down. A battle for it. 2 Syracuse players in the area. DiPietro popped it up. Klosterman slows it down against Wyckoff. Klosterman has been a big part of this UVM offense to start. McCormick fell down and scored. Got his man to fly on by, ate some turf, but he gets the goal.
Yeah, it's not really, you know, one-on-one efforts that's happening right now. It's more just ball movement and Syracuse looking out of sorts. Losing their guys on the backside of the defense, bad communication, and you can't leave this guy 97 with a little face dodge move and that kind of time and room to shoot the ball. Great family pedigree. His father George, longtime coach at Williams College, so this kid has had a bucket of balls and been out in the backyard or on the sidelines or on the field for many, many years, and that is one thing that he can certainly do, is finish the ball.
Fopp gets a win for Syracuse. Yeah, McCormick, 4 years at Middlebury, D3, about an hour south of UVM, made the trip up north, and has been a big part of what they've done offensively, filling in for Ben French, the NLL pick. Vermont within 2 here in this second quarter. So we've seen a couple of possessions in a row for Syracuse prior to that Scanlon goal that just looked out of sorts. Some early shots from the outside. Would you expect more patience here?
Well, they got that second midfield unit out here, so, you know, I think that they got to get back to playing unselfish and work for a high-quality shot. That's what's important, more than their patience. Just got to be a high-quality shot.
Chance to step in and score. Lucas Quinn right down the middle.
The midfielder from Niskayuna High School in the Albany area. One of the hardest shots on the squad. Nice bouncer, good changeup. Caught the Vermont goalie, Cornell, leaning to the left. And he finds the back of the net. Lucas Quinn continues to get better. He's an important piece of that second unit, just like he was last year in that same role. 26, a great shooter. When he's got time and room, he can find the back of the net with a shot.
He had 2 goals against Virginia on Saturday, and we asked John Desko, saying, what's different about him? He's been a second liner, but he hasn't scored like this. As Burke comes down the middle, Burke unscathed, now knocked down, and then the chance stood up once again by Porter. Liam Limoges denied, and the loose ball out. It'll be Vermont possession. Tommy Burke couple of times. He's had that shot to bring it right down Main Street. And I'll say this, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but it feels like Vermont's playing with a ton of confidence off those face-offs right now.
Absolutely. Know that they're going to get the ball and have possessions here today. That gives your team confidence. Plus, they're doing a great job not turning the ball over.
Turned it over for a moment. Now Klosterman, unsettled, stepped in and dumped it short. It's a shot clock reset too. That must have grazed off the left side of the bar. And Vermont's got a fresh 80 here. Down 3 goals. Goals so far from Haley, McConvey, and Limoges. The Orange defense there with another stop. Porter trying to get out of there, and he does. And here's the freight train named Peter Girth over the line to bring it in for Syracuse. Orange offense can settle it on down. And the last couple of minutes, since that Scanlon goal, looked a lot like they did on Saturday against Virginia. Good defensive possessions and a patient and successful Orange offense. This feels like a big possession right now for Vermont. Trimboli dropped it and then regathers.
Number 12, Trimboli's got a great matchup right here going against the short stick from Vermont. See if he can draw a slide movement.
Another uncharacteristic drop. This time Dordovic has to go back to grab it. Shot clock down below 30 seconds. We go right back to that short stick matchup. Trimboli versus Riechman. Scanlon to the center, Curry, oh, he bounced it right. That one jumped high into the air and was inches away from Syracuse's 9th goal. Instead, a chance to clear for UVM. Chances have been there at points, and that is reminiscent of the opener against Army, where it felt like Syracuse was only aiming for the bar.
Yeah, watching this game right now, offensively, I'm very impressed with Syracuse. Doing a great job with ball movement. They've had a couple, low-quality shots that they've taken, but for the most part, they're getting high-quality looks every single time down. Now, the question mark on this squad right now is on this end of the field. These short stick D-middies and their poles, communication needs to get better, and they need to do a much better job on the defensive end.
Big ground ball battle. Tucker Dordovic was in there for a moment. He made a defensive play, got caught on the defensive end, but Syracuse gets out of here and Dordovic settles for the moment. Second line midfield back in there once again. Siebold and Quinn especially have taken such big jumps for Syracuse. Seen Griffin Cook coming in as the 3rd attackman. Redshirt sophomore still looking for his first point of this 2021 season. 2 in white.
Here you go, White.
2 in white's a great player. He's just got to stay patient. He's going to find his spot and find his groove. He's too good of a player not to.
Siebold got positioning and elbowed everybody out of there. Squared answers home. After the week 1 loss against Army, you know how Syracuse fans are, you know what was being said, but the Orange turned around in a big way and did what they did against number 2 Virginia. You know, the question for John Desko was, you know, how do you feel after the Army loss? He said, I'm not going to panic right now. We just finished our 3rd week of practice. I think we played like it. And John Desko in year 23, Ryan Powell was evidently correct about that assessment.
Yeah, absolutely. In Army, you know, I thought that their attack was not working hard to get the ball. Their offense kind of looked, you know, they lacked a little bit of flow. And then, you know, the defense was out of sorts quite often.
Well, the Orange have the Catamounts out of sorts there. Stephen Rafis, the scoop up, and it all started right down the middle with Brett Kennedy.
Scanlon, 22, great vision. Finds 29, Rafis on the doorstep, and I like to say put him on the elevator. What floor you want to get dropped off on? Up, down, then he finishes to the back of the net.
Rafis kept that ball social distanced in that elevator from Ryan Cornell way down there. And Syracuse has its 10th goal. This Orange offense that had 20 a week ago against Virginia, 10 different players recording a point, has continued what it has needed to. 15 points on that Syracuse side right now, 5 assists. But Tommy Burke has another. And Vermont called timeout. So Chris Fifes wanted the break with Burke in trouble to freeze us at 4:29 here in this second quarter. And Tommy Burke, number 3 in green, the Fogo for Vermont, has gone 11 of 17. He's put Vermont on offense very consistently. But the reality of that is Syracuse on the defensive end has found the answer, and they have found the answer in the form of the redshirt senior, Drake Porter.
Yeah, Drake Porter's an awesome netminder. He's been getting it done here at Syracuse for a while. Like I was saying, he's very talented and great reaction time on in-tight shots. There's not a lot of goaltenders that are so talented with the inside shot. He's seeing the ball today and getting the job done in between the pipes for the Orange.
John Desko warned him that he was going to see a quicker release today than maybe he was used to. Vermont has so many. Couple of them have been maybe stoppable, but they have just been basically on the doorstep. Everything from outside has been Porter's game.
No doubt about it. 33 seeing the ball today. He's got it done in between the pipes for a lot of games wearing that jersey, and having one heck of a game here today.
So out of the Vermont timeout, Chris Fifes, let's see what he wants to go with. UVM down 5. This becomes the danger zone at the end of the second quarter. Especially the way the Orange have scored. The behind the backer from Limoges is high. Wyckoff matched up with Klosterman. Mentioned Mitch Wyckoff, 17 in white, who got the deflection there. Made his first start in Orange a week ago against UVA. Played extraordinarily well. Allows Kennedy to move up to the midfield, but the Gettysburg transfer, who thought he was destined for Utah, become a Ute. When Syracuse called, his reaction was, "You're kidding me, right?" Well, he's been a big part of what Syracuse has done so far.
Oh, I love his game too. That's a major bright spot that I'm seeing out here today. The 17 Wyckoff on the defensive end.
Scanlon tried to funnel it in, and Cornell pounces on it. Ryan Cornell, boy, we talked about Porter. Cornell on the other end now has his 6th save. Klosterman in transition. McCormick with a chance to wind up. It's all Drake Porter. Now we go unsettled once again. Hiltz down low, and Cornell again. This is Cornell in Porter's world. We're all just sitting here watching.
No doubt about it. Holy goalie. Here we go. Back and forth action, and the netminders have something to say about keeping a point off the board for their squad.
You've got Cornell, number 14 in green for Vermont. who had 9 saves against UMass Lowell on Wednesday. He is one of the greatest goalies in Connecticut high school history from the lacrosse powerhouse of Darien. And then you've got Porter, who some say and argue with good point is one of the best, or not, if the best goalie in all of college lacrosse. Lewandowski beats him high. JJ is in the dome, everybody. Began his collegiate career in Syracuse, never played a game for the Orange, has transferred to Vermont and become one of their biggest shots. It is defense to offense right now for UVM.
Yeah, getting it done at both ends of the field. Big save by Cornell. And then on the other end,
Lewandowski went to SU for his fall semester in 2019. He was the highest ranked recruit in Syracuse's 2019 class. Transferred to Vermont for a better fit, wanted his major to be a little bit more a part of things. And Chris Fifes jokes that as soon as we leave practice, JJ's just walking into the woods. And Vermont is evidently a better place for that. And he's been a big part of what they've done offensively as well. Brings Vermont within 4 goals here in the second quarter.
yeah, after giving Porter some serious props there for seeing that ball so well, Lewandowski nails one stick side high on Porter.
First time we've seen Porter beaten from outside, really. Dordovic had it knocked from his stick by Will Jones. Dordovic gets it back, and it's snatched out of the air. Cornell has the ground ball. He'll come out of his net, now getting ridden hard by the Syracuse forecheck, essentially, but Vermont gets out of it, and they clear. That was a big part of it, too. The Catamounts have cleared very well so far this year. 38 of 45, that's 84%. Quick grip, that rings the bell. Liam Reichman was denied. And UVM once again comes up with the ground ball. It feels like all of these ground balls right now are coming up UVM.
Yeah, they're playing hard out here. Scrapping, scratching, clawing, trying to stick around in this ball game today. It's very important that they do all the little things pretty well, ground ball being one of them. Getting face-offs, getting saves, no turnovers. All those things add up to sticking around and having a good ball game.
And they're up 20-14 in the ground ball battle right now. Under a minute to go here in the first half. McCormick on DiPietro, couldn't get his hands free. McCormick, doorstep feed, dunk down, Liam Limoges.
Limoges again just finds a little opening in the Syracuse defense. You look at that though, time and room right on the doorstep. Again, it's another collapse out of Syracuse on the defensive end. It's not guys getting beat in the one-on-one situation. It's poor communication and matching up with your guy in the off-ball situation. When there's no slide coming out of the middle, those should never happen. That goal should never happen in that situation. Breakdown on communication and not executing effectively on the defensive end has been a thing that's happened all day today here in the Dome on the Syracuse defensive end.
And it's going to be a penalty against Syracuse. And it's against Varello. Third faceoff violation for Syracuse. And that means Vermont goes on the man up. What do you see here?
I see not a very good call from what I just saw right there.
Well, in any case, Vermont goes man up here for 30 seconds. They will not be able to hold to start possession of the second half. The differential is a few seconds. And McCormick and Lewandowski, the two big shots on the outside. It's Lewandowski who whistles it high.
That thing had a little heat on it.
Halftime, we'll have everything you need inside our Newhouse studios. Corey Spector, Jaron May, the stats and highlights. A look around a busy day in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Big day in college lacrosse as a whole. Maryland Hopkins on the docket. A number of other games as well. They'll have everything you need to know as the Orange will simply run the clock out to end this first half. The Vermont Catamounts, 7-goal first half. It began at the X where the Catamounts dominated. 12 of 19 for Tommy Burke. The scored a point in the win over Virginia last Saturday. And back to the face-off spot we go. Danny Varello axed it free from Tommy Burke, at least momentarily. And a long kick brings us to the ground ball battle once again. One that UVM won 20-15 in the first half, and one that it wins to open the second. The little things, the face-offs, the ground balls, the saves, all of this has been in Vermont's favor. And Ryan, it has kept the Catamounts in it.
Yeah, if you're Coach Fifes, you got to be very excited coming out here into the second half. I know that you're down 3 goals, but your teams looked pretty sharp here in the early part of the season. Offensively, they've been unselfish, moving the ball, very few turnovers on the day, great goaltending play, and your face-off guy, Tommy Burke, is absolutely getting the job done.
Drake Porter picked up a grounder from David Klosterman to put the Orange in transition for the first time in this second half. And now on offense on the clear completed by Peter Dirth for the Orange. 10-goal first half for Syracuse, halfway perfectly on pace to match what they did a week ago against Virginia with 20 goals in the win over the then number 2 team in the country. 8 different scores: Trimboli, Siebold, Curry, Scanlon, Dordovic, Quinn, and Rafis is how the score sheet reads. And Tucker Dordovic with it here. He had a goal in that first half. The Oregonian, native of Portland, coming off a 4-goal week 1, a 3-goal week 2. In the first half, the offense wasn't the problem for Syracuse. Orange scored seemingly at will at certain points. Ryan Cornell in the goal for UVM has done what he's needed to do.
Yeah, they're doing a great job on the offensive end, producing a good quality shot almost every single time down at this end of the field.
Shot clock waning and over. So Vermont comes up with a steady first defensive possession of this second half. And what's in the mind of John Desko after that?
Well, I think you're a little frustrated that you don't get a shot off, but it wasn't a terrible possession. Got a couple open looks.
Scanlon giddy up to the rack. The ride forces the turnover, and Scanlon cashes in.
Giddy up to the rack, Cooper. I love that for sure. 22 down low. He can finish with the best of them, a crafty finisher. And finds the back of the net with his right hand on that one through the wickets of Cornell. And a great way to start for the Orange here on the second half campaign.
Wearing the fabled number 22 for John Desko. The first 22 since Jordan Evans 4 seasons ago. And there's a reason why when Scanlon's name popped up in that transfer portal, John Desko was the first to call. Tommy Burke wins another 14 of 21 for Vermont. He has single-handedly kept UVM in this game, and Reishman clears.
40 Reishman for Vermont, rather. Has been doing a great job in between the lines for the Catamounts today. A lot of pushes in transition. He just drew the flag on that one. So job well done by 40 in green.
40 in green is the team's only returning senior, Liam Reishman, who missed last year with a broken foot, was set to come back this fall and cut his tendons in his hand. He was cutting a couple of frozen hamburgers in the offseason and sliced 2 of his tendons. He's working his way back, and today has made an impact in a big way as Syracuse causes the loose ball and will get a penalty against the Orange.
30 seconds offside.
Good job, Griff. Good job, Griff.
22 Scanlon riding the play out pretty hard here. Attackman riding all the way up to the line, and I think it was Hiltz that stepped offside. 77 Hiltz went offsides by a step, so gives the Catamounts a man-up opportunity.
30 seconds worth of a man-up. They scored right after a man-up expired earlier on today. This time more urgency from this UVM attack. McConvey inside, his seeing eye pass knocked down. Porter jumps on top of it, and the Orange defense holds. Porter's been great today, not only in terms of stopping shots, but those loose balls around the crease he has scooped up, and he gets it to the big man, Brett Kennedy.
What an athlete Kennedy is. He's gotten bigger and stronger this year. Does a great job in between the lines for Syracuse. Like I said, in the Army game, he was down low playing close defense, which is not his comfort zone. So they got him back up top so he can be in the middle of the field, both on the defensive end and pushing the ball in transition. That was a big move for the Orange.
Kennedy even scored a goal last week. Oh, Lucas Quinn pops it down. He had space on the right side, and when he has time to wind up, he'll crank it like that.
What a great shot this was by 26 Quinn. What placement. Top corner on the goal. Unbelievable catch, quick release, finds his target, hits his mark. Second goal of the day for 26 Quinn. Perfectly placed shot.
When the net puffs like that, it's usually a good thing offensively, and Lucas Quinn has a multi-goal game. Third multi-goal game of his career last week against Virginia. This is his fourth, and it is now the first time he's had 2 multi-goal games in a season. He helps Syracuse to a 5-goal advantage here in the third. And just as we were talking about in the midpoint of that second quarter, where Vermont had the gap had widened to 5 goals, this is a huge possession for Vermont if it wants to stay in this game. Down 5 at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. This attack has stayed in it. David Klosterman with it has operated from X all day long.
17 Wyckoff has been very impressive to me today. Great footwork, good stick check, stays under control. Playing very good defense down there for the Orange on that end of the field.
Now unsettled, Klosterman inside, Porter there! Rebound try, Fenich whistled it high. Drake Porter, Mr. Wall.
He is such a good goalie at those in-tight shots. Great reaction time, great quickness, and he really does a good job reading where the shooters are going to shoot.
Watch Lewandowski miss it high.
Look at that save right there. You kidding me? 33 Porter? Not today, he says.
I mean, what is the likelihood of saving that shot that we just saw from Porter?
Well, I mean, like, when I was a player, I'd like to think that I was going to score on that baby 9 out of 10 times. So, I mean, and I think a lot of attackmen and a lot of offensive players, when they're on the doorstep like that, they feel like they're going to have that many saves as well. So I would think that the likelihood of that save is about 10%.
Porter's got 13. 3 of them have looked a lot like that so far. Still Vermont on offense here. Extended Catamount offensive pressure. That's what we've seen all day long. Lewandowski, the former Orange. To McConvey, the Canadian. Hands free, quick snap, Vermont down 4.
Great placement by McConvey right here. A little catch with his left, split dodge to his right hand, and a rocket ship shot to the near side pipe and beats Porter. Nice dodge, good quick release, perfect placement of the shot. 44 McConvey with a big time goal. Like you said, Cooper, this one had the sense that it might get a little bit out of control here if Vermont didn't get it done on the offensive end. So that was a huge goal for the Catamounts.
One of two McConveys on this Vermont roster. McConvey, Thomas, that is, number 44, has his second. Brother Jonathan is also on this team. Their dad, Sean, said not a lot of broken windows growing up, but a lot of fence damage. And with a shot like that we just saw from Thomas McConvey, it is easy to understand why. And hey, puts Vermont within 4 here. Orange back on offense after a face-off win from Jacob Faub against Tommy Burke. Another ground ball pickup by Brett Kennedy, who's been in the middle of it all day. Vermont's wing play, too. Burke has been good, but UVM's wing play, too, can't be understated here, what they've done today. Kennedy that time gets the better. Hiltz. And Owen Hiltz again. First of the day, he has been in the middle of it, and now he's on the score sheet.
A major upbringing inside the box. Canadian players have a knack for perfect placement on their shots. That's a great example right there. Hiltz, the Peterborough, Ontario native, stings one to the back of the net. Perfect placement, great release, catch and shoot with quickness. He's going to be a great one here for the Orange.
We asked John Desko, if you recall, a push goes down and it'll be Syracuse ball. We asked John Desko, do you remember freshmen with a confidence like this? And he said, yeah, I recall a guy named Ryan Powell.
Oh yeah, is that what he said?
That's what he said. And Hiltz in his freshman season, not wearing the 22, but the 77 looks darn good on him. So is the offensive game.
Absolutely, he's a great player. He's going to do big things here for Syracuse and has an awesome understanding of the game. Very good stick, nice lefty, he's a sniper. Great placement.
Klosterman gathers another 50-50 chance for Vermont. Now on the shorty, Klosterman missed it right.
Getting back to that 10% of the time on the doorstep when we were talking about Porter, I had a good friend of mine just shoot me a text, Ben Gable. He played goalie at Cortland State, won the national championship. He was a championship game MVP, and he said that seems about right.
Poke from Dami Aladamoye keeps the Orange alive here, and Syracuse on the clear. 10%. All right, Drake Porter's made 3 of them, so you can do the math on what that percent chance is altogether.
He's definitely hitting his quota today, Drake Porter is.
Once again, the Orange defense holds. It's a 5-goal game, a chance to make it 6. Vermont has hung around all day, as did Virginia last Saturday. Then at a certain point, Syracuse just hit the ignition. Quinn stood up. Cornell with the answer. A loose ball here. Cornell's out of his cage. Quinn came away with it. And resets once again. Fresh 80 for the Orange. Rafus long pole. Didn't matter because Owen Hiltz was all alone on an island to put the Orange up 6. Way through the third quarter. It's a big day in Syracuse, which has quietly, not even quietly, loudly become the lacrosse capital of the universe. Syracuse women's lacrosse team up 12-3, getting that update from Durham. So the Orange against Duke after a top 5 win against Stony Brook. The women's team up 12-3. And here in the Dome, the men's team rolling 14 goals in the third quarter. Owen Hiltz has a couple of them, both of them in this frame. And off the faceoff, Vermont has stayed in this because of the faceoff spot. Now 17 of 25, all of them from the sophomore Tommy Burke. Vermont wins the faceoff and immediately calls timeout. Boy, Owen Hiltz, look at this guy. 77 in white has been unbelievable all day. He's a freshman. He got his first start a week ago, and in start number 2, it has looked like he's been here for years and years, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Syracuse needed to find a way to get 77 on the field. He's there to stay for sure. He's a great finisher. So doing a lot of his work off ball, but he can catch and bury on the inside. And like I said, a lot of that comes from his upbringing of playing box lacrosse for several years. Those players, from what my experience in the game of lacrosse, end up being some of the best finishers our game has ever seen.
I was laughing learning about his early practices. Owen said, I was starstruck because he came and he's watching that line of Trimboli, Curry, Dordovic, the guys that he had grown up watching, or at least watching over the last few years, and to be in practice, he was awestruck by just being on the field with those guys. Now he's getting feeds from them.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be a great player here. Just got to continue to improve and hone in on his craft. You know, that's very important for these players that go on and play college lacrosse. You know, your goal as a young kid a lot of times is to get to this level and play Division I lacrosse. The best players and longevity and the best careers out there are the players that continue to improve and get better. And for the most part, from what I've seen, Syracuse as a whole has continued to do that. In particular, Brendan Curry, 16, I've seen his improvement since his freshman year to where he is today. It's been remarkable.
All of these guys. And the second line, too, that's been a big topic of conversation this year, the jump that we've seen from Owen Seabold and Lucas Quinn especially. Inside of the goal, Thomas McConvey just muscled his way in. And Vermont is very much in this game in the third quarter.
What a nice little move this is right here. Just stutter, freezes the defenseman, and then does a little inside face dodge, extension of his arms, and finds an opening on the cage. So great patience, great arm extension, and good accuracy on that goal by McConvey.
He is the second catamount to a hat trick for Chris Fifes' team. 3 goals for Limoges, 3 goals for Thomas McConvey, and it's 14-9. 5:26 to go here in the third. Big face-off here, and the Wings come up with it once again. Paul Governale for Vermont. Reached in the long pole. And again, Burke has been really good today, but the wing play from Vermont, going against some of the best wings in the country in a man like Brett Kennedy, they have found what they've needed to find.
Yeah, I agree and I disagree with you. So I think that he's getting the clamps so clean. So Tommy Burke's getting the job done. Syracuse got a couple of the very best wing players out there.
Lewandowski slid it down and in for Vermont. J.J. Lewandowski, the former Syracuse commit, spent his first semester, and in his dome debut today for Vermont, has 2 goals.
Anytime anything's happening out here on the defensive end, any transition or loose ball pickup, there is just wide open catamounts around the front of the cage for easy catch and finishes. So Lewandowski is the recipient of that one right there, number 8. Great catch in front of the cage, great bury.
He's the first ever mid-year transfer under Chris Fifes. And boy, are they glad to have him. Great career at Syracuse for a moment. He was loved by his teammates by all accounts, and has also been a big part of what Vermont has done now, and he has 2 goals today. Has been fun to watch. And another face-off win for Tommy Burke, and there you see it. As you said, the clamp completely controlled by him. That time, there were no wings in sight, and they didn't need to be.
No, he is dominating that face-off X here today. I mean, it's just straight domination.
14 of 18 on Wednesday against UMass Lowell. That was sparkling and exciting and all of that. Well, here in the Dome, he is 19 of 27, and the Catamounts can make this a 3-goal game. Limoges tried his 4th, then a diving stop, and it goes down for McConvey. Off the high dive, it is a 3-goal game.
Right place, right time again. One of those goals. McConvey picks up the Lucy right in front, jumps out, good extension, and finds the back of the net. Again, one of those little scrums, loose ball situations that Vermont seems to be winning time after time. And now you're starting to believe, if you're a Catamount, you're in that belief mode right here. Good energy, back-to-back goals. We got a shot, let's get the next one, and then things will get interesting.
And now a big-time face-off. 3-goal game. Burke has been so good. And goes against Varello here. And he spins out of it, another face-off win. Burke being chased, Burke inside, Burke. Slow jumped and Porter there. That was likely an ill-advised shot, no?
Absolutely ill-advised for sure. Tommy Burke, know your role, do your job. You're doing it very well. But that little spin shot right there, after you pushed in transition, if you don't have it, get the ball to your offensive scorers.
So now the question, Ryan, is can the Orange offense slow Vermont's roll?
Yeah, they've been producing high-quality shots every time they touch it. Issue is what's happening on the other end of the field right now. So there's no issues down here on this offensive end. Producing good shots, 14 goals scored through 3.
4 of them came in this quarter. Rafis with space. Flag is down, free possession here for Syracuse. 25 seconds on the shot clock, and oftentimes this is where we'll see 23 Tucker Dordevic go to work. Dordevic outruns his man and had it knocked out from behind, and now we'll get the penalty call. Orange on the way to go man up.
White 77. 77 White, 1 minute slash. 1 minute.
It's on Nick Alviti, a sophomore from Connecticut.
77, Green, 1 minute slash. Green, 1 minute.
And there we go. Penalty against Alviti here.
Yeah, I didn't really love this call, watching it in real time. I mean, he's not completely going for the stick, but lacrosse is a physical game, and a little slap check on someone's glove.
Scanlon stood up by Cornell. Ryan Cornell is having a Wyatt Schupler-esque performance. The Army goaltender did a couple of weeks ago against Syracuse's offense. Cornell all the way out of his net, hooked down from behind, still has it. Now you've got a goalie on the wrong half of the field and finally smacked down. Cornell got leveled, and now we've got some extra shoving. The Vermont and Syracuse bench is getting into it. Cornell saying, slow down here a sec. The flag's down completely. These are two teams that know each other well. They've scrimmaged the last few years. And there seems to be probably plenty to sort out.
Yeah, I don't mind Vermont getting a little chippy in that situation for sure. As a lacrosse player, you protect your goaltender at all costs.
Let's listen in here and see how they sort this out. See Cornell still favoring some.
16 White, 30 seconds, push. 77 White, technical 30 second, hold. They're down 2 men, 30 seconds. Nice.
Curry and Hiltz are the offenders here. Let's look.
Yeah, they just got aggressive on the clear here. Goaltender trying to bring it up the field. I think those are pretty decent calls. And don't mind Vermont getting a little chippy there at the end of that. So, you know, like I said, protect your goaltender. And the result here is a big one, though. 2 men down for Syracuse. And Vermont within striking distance in this ball game. They're going to go on the man-up situation where they've been producing some good shots today in a crucial situation in this game.
And this is in part the identity for Chris Fifes and the Vermont team. This is a UVM squad. When Fifes came in, he said, I want to change the culture around this team. And he has brought them there to a few America East Championship games. Last year they thought was going to be the year, and then cut short after being picked to win the conference last season. Today it is a monstrous effort to try to knock off number 6 Syracuse, but they have put themselves in position and now 2 men up for the next 18 seconds. McCormack, high.
That was high heat right there.
Lewandowski with 8. McCormack again, that big shot of his. McConvey deals it inside, it was knocked down, and a big-time ground ball pickup for the Orange. It is Brett Kennedy. Quick to Scanlon, foot on the accelerator, but the pass mishandled by Kennedy, and another ground ball pickup for UVM. Colin Sharkey had it, and the Catamounts can clear with under a minute and a half to go in the third. The 2-man up over, but Catamount ball. And they can hold basically to close this first half.
Missed opportunity for Vermont on that last man-up possession. McConvey didn't like his decision-making running the point in the man-up situation. You got McCormack on one side and Lewandowski on the other, 2 snipers that bring it with a lot of heat, and they tried to force something down low to a guy that was covered. Missed opportunity, bad read by McConvey.
Now at even strength, the waning moments of this third quarter. Convey off the bounce. McCormack on a shorty. This is dangerous. Slide comes. He shot it anyway, and Porter was there off the bouncer. Loose ball. Peter Dirth had a chance to scoop it up, and it's Wyckoff again. Mitch Wyckoff, the Gettysburg transfer, comes up with a big ground ball pickup, and the Orange clear. 10 seconds with DiPietro, a defender. He nearly threw it away. Rafis with 6. Rafis with 4. And that buzzer marks the end of the third. And a late hit and a flag against Wilson Sneath, who popped down Curry. And this has gotten chippy, another late hit. Scanlon's in there. Sneath as well, and it's Sneath clad in his chain who will walk off here at the end of the third. We'll stay here to hear what the penalty calls, and once again, for the second time in this quarter, something to sort out for this officiating crew of Daniel Miller, Kevin Coos, and Paul Matondo.
And I love to see the passion and effort that both teams are bringing right now.
To the face-off spot we go. Vermont has dominated here, and they win it. Tommy Burke right ahead, and Vermont has it. Paul Governale for the Catamounts. It is a 3-goal game. Vermont has the ball, looking for an upset bid inside the dome. The first time fans have been in this building in more than a year's time, and they have been treated to a good one between the Orange and the Catamounts. Vermont, out of the America East, has not backed down today. Trailed by as many as 5, but they've worked it to a 3-goal game. And here's Griffin Fenage right inside. Drake Porter shoves it aside. Loose ball and a roller. A loose ball push versus Dami Aladamoye for the Orange gives it to UVM. Shot clock reset. 9-on-9 is over. And Vermont back out there. McCormack couldn't handle it. DiPietro the scoop, and the Orange in transition where they are oh so dangerous. Aviles dropped it. Loose ball. Aviles on the ground was splayed out. And now another fight inside that Vermont comes away with again. 36th ground ball win of the day for Vermont to Syracuse's 23. It is a big one because it puts UVM back on 0.
Putting a lot of effort out there today. The guys in green came to play. Doing all the little things pretty well. That's what it takes to come in and knock off the 6th-ranked Orange in the Dome on their home turf.
Their head coach, Chris Fifes, was so honest with us. He said, it's really hard to win in the Carrier Dome. You walk in, you feel the greats that have played in this building. You have to be able to handle the ebbs and the flows of the game. Vermont has done that. Lewandowski to it first. McCormick from X on a short stick. It's Peter Durth. McCormick top side. McCormick threw a screwball in there that Porter was ready for. They're used to the heat from Michael McCormick. That time went low and slow, but Porter had the answer.
Yeah, goalies at home watching this game. 33, Porter. Always be ready. McCormick comes up, takes a shot, wasn't really expecting it. And Porter's staying engaged in the game and makes a big-time save.
18 saves for Drake Porter. It ties a career high, and Tucker Dordevic cashes in. High and hard. It is a 4-goal SU lead.
23, Dordevic finds a little opening on the backside of the defense and comes with a little overhand hard one to the top left portion of the cage and beats Cornell with a great place shot. Portland, Oregon product, 23, Dordevic. Big time goal for the Cuse. Puts them up by 4.
Dordevic with the broken foot, missed 2019 season. He said the first couple of games last year, he was jittery and emotional, a guy who cried in the locker room before last year's opener that he couldn't play in. He is back, and he is back in a big way. The Orange up 4 thanks to the Oregonian Tucker Dordevic.
Plays with a lot of passion. I've known Tucker since he was in the 3rd grade. Watched him mature as a player and as a young man. Very proud of him, and he's turned out to be one heck of a player here, and he's got big things ahead in that orange jersey.
And an infraction against Vermont. The screen moved. Liam Limoges was trying to free his man, and Syracuse quick in transition. Scanlon mishandled, and now another ground ball fight. These have all gone Green's way, and this one does again. Nick Alviti spears it. And earlier on, I think in the first half, a 4-goal deficit, you might have said, uh-oh, but Vermont has showed time and time again that it can find its answers, and it has done that all day long. This now, in a 4-goal game, becomes the imperative possession.
Good job, KD.
Ryan, where would you go here?
Well, I think that, Vermont's been doing a really good job with their balanced attack. There's not anybody in particular that's been winning their dodges completely. They've been doing it with ball movement, a little pick game behind the cage, and finding open shooters up top. McCormick's always a great option.
They threw it away. Klosterman keeps it in. Shot clock down under 30. McCormick, deep rip! That shot had teeth from Michael McCormick. Vermont is within 3 once again.
That is by far the best place shot that we've seen here today in the Dome. Upper 90, you know it's a good shot when you sting the top corner and it sticks up there for 1 or 2 seconds and then it drops down to the bottom of the net. Too much time, too much room, not executing on a scouting report. You got to engage in 97. You know he's got a rocket ship shot. Too slow out of the Syracuse defense to get there in time. McCormick makes him pay for it with a perfectly placed shot to the upper 90 of the cage that was going over 90 miles an hour.
Vermont has another face-off win, 23 of 31 now for Tommy Burke. The Catamounts looking for their first ever win over a team from the Atlantic Coast Conference and trying to do it inside the Carrier Dome. A 3-goal game, 10 to go in the 4th quarter, UVM on offense. So much has been made about the disappointment for Syracuse. They were the #1 team in the country last year before the season was cut short. So much excitement coming into this year. UVM was picked to win its conference last year, get to the NCAA tournament as Porter takes a laser from McConvey. The Catamounts picked to win the America East last year. That season was cut short. A disappointing loss in week 1, a big answer in game 2. And here in week 3, Vermont has stayed in it and now becomes the big defensive possession. Can they finally stop this orange attack? And now, Ryan, I'll ask you the same question on this side. If you're Syracuse, where do you go?
Well, they got their second line midfield unit out there right now. So, you know, Griffin Cook's been pushing from the top. This is the time I like to get it back behind the cage to the attackman.
Cook working from the wing here. And patience. We haven't seen a lot of Jacob Buttermore today. He's in there. Cook dances free. Gets the slide against a short stick. And flew it for Buttermore, another orange turnover.
I've said this before, but I just think that the shifts, like Syracuse's first unit, you know, you got a 3-point ball game here. Syracuse's first unit went out there, Tucker scored a goal. They were out there for 20 or 30 seconds. These guys are finely tuned athletes. Get your best players out there as much as you possibly can. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that first line midfield unit out there, especially given the situation that we have in the game in a 3-point ball game. They got plenty of legs left. Get your top 3 offensive midfielders out there and let them go to work.
Vermont's top 3 is in there right now. Limoges gets it to Lewandowski. 1-on-1, goes right by Porter again. He has 20 saves. It is a career high for Drake Porter. Eclipses the 18 he had in the win over Army, a top 10 victory inside the Dome last year. And he's got 20 today against a pepper of shots from UVM. Porter has kept Syracuse in this game as well. See that, out shooting Syracuse in every quarter. Lewandowski had it blocked down in the slot area, and a roller to Kennedy. Orange in transition. Kennedy scored a week ago. Feels it left, and Scanlon with a ripper. Right side and down for number 22. That's something for the fans to enjoy. Chase Scanlon on the board again with his second.
Good patience right here by Kennedy, pushing the ball in transition. He finds 20.
Vermont has been as close as 3 goals, and all of it thanks to Tommy Burke, the face-off man. Burke has now won 24 of 32 face-offs today, and it puts UVM back on offense.
Burke just went limping off. We'll keep an eye on that and see if he comes out for the next draw. But again, he has been dominant today. I'm not sure if he slipped the official a little cash and got a little inside beat on the whistle, because he seems faster on the clamp every single time.
Laser timing would put him in the driver's seat here, and he has put Vermont on offense again and again. Catamounts still down 4, under 7 to go here in the 4th quarter. And a whistler that Porter watched go on by. Thanks for joining us this Saturday afternoon, along with the former Carthage Comet, Ryan Powell. I'm Cooper Boardman, and we're happy that you're with us. A 4-goal game. Vermont has put a lot of offensive pressure on Syracuse. Shots on goal 32-25 in favor of the Catamounts. Thomas McConvey, 44 in green, who had it for a moment, has 4 goals for UVM. Here's J.J. Lewandowski. Drew the slide, now he feeds. No one on the other end, and it's right to Drake Porter. It wasn't a save, but Porter comes up with another one. The goaltender for Syracuse has 20 saves, a career high for the Canadian.
He has been awesome today. This game could have a total different look to it if 33 wasn't in the cage today. He's come up big time and time again. Inside shots, seeing the ball well from the outside. Been very impressed with Porter's game today. and he's really made a difference in the ball game.
Porter has those long locks, cuts them at the end of every season. Last year cut him way earlier than he wanted to. And he has shown his ability to come back here in 2021. And Ryan Cornell on the other end, for as good as Porter's been, Cornell on the opposite side has made his stands. That's his 10th save. Split time with Nick Washuta, an All-American last year, played his way into the lineup. And here, for the first time as a full-time starter in 2021, has been great. Puts Vermont back on the attack. Down 4, under 5 to go. You would think there has to be some urgency now for the Catamounts.
Yeah, this is getting to be must-score time in this ball game. Every possession, you got to capitalize on your opportunity.
Lewandowski on the shorty. Klosterman on Wyckoff. Got the screen. Down low with under 30 to shoot. Haley, Brock goes down. The sophomore from Ontario, who Chris Fifes told us is a real skilled shooter, puts it home, and Vermont within 3.
Yeah, great shot right here, using the defenseman as a screener. Hawley, great shot, good placement. Used the defenseman as a screener. Porter didn't have much time to pick up on the shot. Therefore, it finds the back of the net. Like I said, it's must-score time for Vermont on their offensive possessions, and they get a big one there.
Back to the face-off spot. Varello picks it up, and Alana Moye has it for the Orange. Danny Varello, the vet, comes through. Varello said he realized his role was going to change from starter to being the second man on that face-off unit when he couldn't consistently beat Fopp in practice. But those two, such good friends, and in a moment where, on a day where Fopp has struggled, quite honestly, Varello comes in, and right there in a waning moment with under 4 to go, comes up with a gigantic face-off win. Do you bleed clock at this stage?
That's what they're doing right now. I think it's a good move. Get some clock. Make sure you get the ball to the right matchup here, and this is a pretty good one behind the cage. It's a natural-born attackman, Cook, on a short stick, so he should be able to isolate behind the cage with a nice dodge back here, draw a slide, and then move the ball.
Cook accelerates. Cook denied by Cornell. Went down to the earth to grab it. Vermont back with it, under 3 to go, down 3. Again, more urgency here in the clear. You can see it, Cornell out of his cage once again. Nearly an over and back. McConvey with the first 20 seconds of the clear clock, and he went over and back, but there were still 63 seconds on the clock, so that's all right. And it puts Vermont back on offense. Haley just scored. He has scored in every game so far for Vermont. J.J. Lewandowski, a roller, went down low. Kennedy got a stick on it. The ball is free. Kennedy went down. And Griffin Cook on the defensive end threw it into the back of the net. That's dangerous. But the Orange can clear. How about Griffin Cook? No points in his first couple of games. Hasn't had a point today, but he comes up with the biggest ground ball pickup of the day. Orange in transition. Scanlon down low, rifled it wide for Rafis with a flag down.
Griffin Cook's going to be just fine. He'll keep working. Great personality, hard-working kid. He's going to find his niche on the offensive end. They're still working through some different chemistries, but that was a huge ground ball.
Hiltz gets away. Hiltz to the rack. Hiltz with a dunk. And that might seal it. Orange up 4. Hiltz has another, and Syracuse might have just put it away here in the 4th.
Good poise for a freshman. Vermont spread out on the defensive end, putting some pressure on the outside of the field, then Hiltz comes underneath, wide open in the middle of the field, 77 again with his patented little twister shot in tight.
Got a foul in the backcourt.
penalty against Vermont. Syracuse will be man up as we go back to the face-off spot. And here's the slash call. And the hold right there. Both pretty clear calls, and Owen Hiltz didn't really matter. Bucked off his man and scored. And how about Owen Hiltz, one of those Culver Canadians out of Peterborough, Ontario, the Electric City. And Hiltz has brought that here to Syracuse, has 4 goals, a career high 4, of course, in his second career start after a hat trick in his first career start last Saturday against Virginia. And a Syracuse offense that was so good a year ago, running away with games offensively, has only gotten better with the addition of 77 in white Owen Hiltz. And the Orange can simply walk this out. 40 seconds on the man up, $1:15 to go in the fourth. And Vermont, who gave the Orange a scare here inside the Dome, is going to come up just short, Ryan.
Yeah, they've played a very good game here today. Syracuse, a lot of firepower on the offensive end, for sure. And, you know, good goaltending both ways. But in the end here, Syracuse outplayed them. And, you know, they did such a good job and were dominant on the offensive end. It was hard for Vermont to stick around in this one.
I'll say this is a much better team than the 4th best team in the America East, where they were picked to finish. The win on Wednesday had them rolling. They stay in it. McConvey went down in front, and there was a timeout on the field to freeze us at 34 seconds here in this fourth quarter. So Vermont going to drop to 1-2, Syracuse to 2-1. And Ryan, this is a different game for Syracuse. It is not the dominant win that it was against Virginia, where Drake Porter was so good. But the defense by Porter and the rest of this Orange team has done exactly what it's needed to do all day long. And it starts, again, in net, Drake Porter, 20 saves, a career day.
Yeah, big time outing by number 33, Porter. He made a lot of big time saves, in tight, from the outside. I could tell from the early going that he was seeing the ball extremely well. Vermont's got some very good outside snipers that can shoot the ball extremely hard. 33 Porter's been sniffing it up all day and had a world-class day.
And Porter has now done it against a lot of different types of offenses. Struggled against Army a little bit. Everyone struggled against Army a little bit early on for Syracuse. Did it against Virginia with all those great outside shooters, a team with a championship pedigree, of course. And now against Vermont, a team full of Canadians. Porter, the native of Aurora, Ontario, about 30 minutes north of Toronto, has stifled his fellow Canadians very well here throughout the day and has put Syracuse on offense consistently. And when you put Syracuse on offense consistently, that is generally a good thing with the wealth of scoring options. And a day that, if the score holds here, we'll see 27 points combined for this Syracuse offense. From the timeout, Vermont has the ball. Brock Haley shot it. He did not have the ball. Kennedy scoops it up. Another big pickup for number 11 in white. And now the Orange can walk out the rest of this clock with 10. It was chippy. It was entertaining. It was perhaps closer than expected. But Syracuse, in the end, pulls it out. The Orange win it 17-13 behind a career day from Drake Porter. 20 saves for the redshirt senior, who comes back and puts number 6 Syracuse over.